To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elfster's Rifles and Reloading, and we are live. And I apologize for the late start here. I had some technical difficulties with my camera, but I think we should be up and running here. So let me get the chat boards up here and make sure we are rolling. And I got some pretty awesome announcements coming your way. And let me skip this commercial so I can make sure my sound is working. And let's see here. Sound is good. If you're out there watching, let me know how the video and sound is. And I got some pretty cool announcement here for you guys. And Michael D is first one in the house. He says, I made it. And darn well, you better be, because I'm giving you personal messages to let you know I'm going live, because for some reason, some of you guys aren't getting those announcements from the good old YT. They're not letting you know that I'm going live. So make sure when you hit that notification bell, you're hitting notification all so you can get those notifications. And Thomas Tech is here. He's saying sound is good. Charles Bales is saying the sound is good. And I got some pretty cool announcements to make here. Right out of the gate, and I know you guys are probably sick and tired of me working on this PSA Colehammer Forge 556. And we're at the tail end of this. This will probably be the last live event for at least that firearm series. And then video after that, shooting those reloads, will probably be the last part of that series. Maybe. I don't know. I might pick it up way down the road, but at least for now, I think I've beaten that horse into the ground. So that's probably going to be the final episode, this live event. And then the next one, shooting these, will probably be the final part of that PSA 18-inch Colehammer Forge 556 series. But with that said, I got a really cool announcement for you guys, and it is pretty much etched in stone. Matter of fact, it's already in the mail. It's coming my way. Brian Shu is already here. He's saying, what's up tonight, guys? Ramsey Country saying, good evening, Todd. And just to spill the beans for you guys, and Hit Steel CA is already rolling in the house of the super chat. I appreciate that so much. And he's asking, what kind of trouble are we in today? And I'm about to show that to you right now. So let me get you guys a little bit closer. And I'm sure some of you guys are going to be ecstatic about this. And that is, before I go into this final load development, and if you guys have been watching this series, man, oh man, did this 75 grain boat tail hollow points with 23 grains of Varga ever print a bug hole. And I'm about to show it to you in a little bit. Before we go over all this, this is what's coming up next in the channel for the next reloading. It's not reloading, but just firearm review series and reloading. And that is the Gen 3 PSA 20-inch 6.5 Creedmoor, the 1-in-8 twist barrel. And it is going to be awesome, and I can't wait. And it's got the special 15-inch lightweight handguard. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. But this handguard has a little bit of a cutout in it. So if you're rocking, this is easily a 1 mile gun. And if you're rocking something like a 20-minute of angle AR scope mount, and you got a big bell front objective on your scope, you want to make sure that that doesn't hit the Picatinny rail of your front handguard. They purposely put in this notch part with no Picatinny rail, so you can make sure that your scope doesn't hit the handguard. And I think that's just an awesome feature. It's just something smart to do. But yeah, just quick spoiler alert here for you guys. This will be the next firearm review series and live reloading for you guys. And so this is the upper, and for the lower, make sure I'm zoomed all the way out here. What's going on here? This is the lower, and I purposely bought the cheapest lower that PSA has, and that's for good reason. Because I plan on taking this buttstock off. I plan on taking the grip off. Matter of fact, PSA sent me their custom series 3.5 pound PSA trigger, drop-in trigger. And I'm going to slap that in this Gen 3 PA10 lower. And so I purposely wanted to get the very cheapest one that they had because I plan on taking off actually most of this. So, and what's really nice about this upper is it comes automatically with an adjustable gas block, pretty much the exact same gas block that I just installed on the PSA 556. And for roughly 49 bucks that you can get these for, they're a pretty good bargain, and I'm pretty darn pleased with them. And I have it on my 6.5 Grundle. I now have it on this PSA 556 Coalhammer Forge FM barrel upper, and now it's going to be automatically comes on this 6.5 Creemore. And also some of the updates that they made to the Gen 3 is it also has dual ejectors, I should say, on the face of the bolt there. So it's also a nice feature with these Gen 3s with the dual ejectors. And just to go over some of the specifications here, and matter of fact, I got you on a special mount here. I can clip you out. And just to go over some of the features on this. So we're looking at the PSA Gen 3. It's a 20-inch rifle length. And it's a 6.5 Creemore, the 1-in-8 twist. Obviously, I just said it's a 20-inch barrel. And what I really, really like about this upper is it has a heavy profile barrel. I mean, this is I would consider a 1-mile gun. And it really should have a heavy profile barrel, and that's exactly what it has. We're looking at 416R stainless steel. The muzzle thread is 5/8 to 24, 1-in-8 twist, 0.750 gas block. It comes automatically with this low profile 5-positional click switch adjustable gas block. The gas tube is even black nitrided, so that's really, really nice. What else? We also have the PSA 15-inch, the lightweight with an anti-slip and anti-rotation features. And automatically comes also with that Toolcraft bolt carrier group with the power extractors and springs and double ejectors. So it makes a really nice features and upgrades for something that you can get for less than 900 bucks. And also, they also automatically dimple that barrel for the adjustable gas block. So that's also a really, really nice feature. Comes with the charging handle, and also that hand guard. Especially I went to PSA and I toured the plant, and they showed us those special hand guards. They have a anti-slip, anti-rotation hand guards as the bolts go right through the barrel nut. And it's just a really, really nice feature. And I know some of you guys have been asking for this, and it's definitely coming. And that's why I wanted to get this knocked out for you guys. But let me back this up. I'm going to check out the comments here, see who else is rolling in. And I got to just drop some more powder here. And I figured, what the heck, I'll just do a Q&A while I'm doing it. So I know Michael D, he's been super busy reloading and shooting an insane amount of ammo. JR Bear Tactical is in the house also, and he's saying, good evening, Ty. Just wanted to stop in and say hello. I know it's been a while. Hope all is well. And I'm heading to bed. Enjoy your evening and the rest of your live broadcast. And I really appreciate you dropping in there, JR Bear, and that is awesome. Oh, wow. We got good old Graham Bates in the house. He's saying, howdy, Elfster. Sorry I'm late. I don't really just here to be here. And I'm going to tell you, for my viewers that are watching live right now, man, you got to check out Graham Bates' channel. And not only is he just a really awesome guy, but he's very knowledgeable in the firearm community. And he just makes really detailed, to the point, no BS videos. And he writes a lot of articles for AmmoLand, and I had an awesome opportunity to meet him at the 2020 SHOT Show in January, and I'm pretty sure that's where I got sick. I'm pretty sure I got sick from him. I'm pretty sure I got the COVID. No, I'm kidding. I'm pretty sure everyone had the COVID at SHOT Show, but yeah, he's saying we just pulled off a low reciprocating mass 18-inch with rifle gas. I bet that gun is going to be picky. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this firearm review and especially the reloading for you guys. It's going to be awesome. Richard Stevens is also rolling in. He's asking, Todd, could you tell me how tall your A&D powder system is? I have the exact system ordered. I'm going to buy a dust cover for it, and it comes in two sizes, 18 and 20, something maybe like 24. And I was in the same boat with you, and to be honest with you, I was about to buy that dust cover, but I did have a leaky pipe one time, and I had water over my bench. I don't want to make sure that this never gets wet. So all I did is I bought some really cheap, no joke, I got 30 bags for $3 at Menards. And they're just a plastic bag. And if you watch that series, you actually see me pull this off. And what I did is I got some anti-static spray that you use for your laundry. I sprayed that inside this bag. It slips right over this. It's kind of nice. You can kind of see through it. But if you ever, especially if you're in the basement, you get a leaky pipe, you don't have to worry about your $1,000 plus lab scale and powder drop trickler setup here getting wet. So that's what I do. But I do have a tape measure here if you are still curious. And let me quick measure that here for you. So I would say you're about 18.5 inches. So you're definitely going to want that 20-inch. So I hope that helps you out there. So I'm going to get you guys positioned just a little bit better here. So I got more room. Right. See how that works. So yeah, definitely check out good old Graham's channel there, and trust me, you're going to enjoy his videos. To the point, kind of like me, right to the point and concise and very informative. And Eagle Eye Shooting is also rolling in, another channel you definitely need to check out, especially if you're in reloading. And I'm definitely going to check out that Strike Eagle scope. I think that 5-25 with a 54 millimeter objective. I think that's something I'd be right up my alley, especially for the money. Michael D saying, if you need some Creemore bass, I'm your man. Let me know, and I will let you know. I think I got quite a bit of that brass down here, and I think I am good. It is Hornady though, so I don't know if you got anything better than Hornady. Let me know. But I do have a stockpile of brass, so 6.5. But if you got something better, let me know. So yeah, so just letting you guys know of this incoming series, more live reloading and 6.5 Creedmoor, which I have yet to do live at least. And I'm going to take that buttstock, being that comes with the MB carbine length. And that's why I didn't care about the buttstock. I just got the cheapest one. I'm going to take it off anyways. But this comes, excuse me, with a carbine length buffer tube. And because of that, I'm going to slap on that Luth MBA 3 that's designed for a carbine length tube. And I tell you, for the money, these are really, really hard to beat. These Luth MBA, at least the 3 for the carbine, and they'll make the Luth MBA 1 for the rifle length buffer tubes. So that is coming. It'll probably be a couple weeks before you see that start up, but at least I wanted to spill the beans here for you guys, for those that watch me live. So that is going to be spectacular. So just a quick overview of what is going on, at least tonight. Now, if you've been watching this series, you know, at least the latest video that I just uploaded, we did these 75 grain boat tail hollow points. And with 23 grains, it made a pretty darn good group there at 0.773 minutes of angle. You know, I was hoping this very last bullet would have been more in this group, been more of a half minute of angle, but still, I wouldn't even consider that a flyer. It's pretty darn accurate. It's damn near bolt action accuracy out of a very inexpensive 5.56 upper, especially with a chrome line barrel, especially a chrome line barrel that usually needs some time to break in. And even with the 69 grain SMKs with 24 grains of Varget, we were able to print a 0.424 minute of angle 3-shot group for that low development. So I'm going to load up 10 total of the 69 grain SMKs, which are right here. And if you're new to the game, you're new to reloading, these are a boat tail. They got a boat tail on the back to reduce the drag, and they have a hollow point to lighten up the nose, so it increases the bullet coefficient. And we're going to load up 10 of these, and what performed best at 24 total grains of Varget. So now I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not totally impressed with this, because this is the low end spectrum of the velocity in regards to this powder drop data. And you know, if you're going to shoot at 600 yards or less, I think this would be fine. But man, if you're going to try and push it out to 1,000 yards plus, this probably is not going to be the load for you. And that's kind of why I'm really excited about the fact that these 75 grain heavier bullet could travel further distances, especially at 23 grains. That's damn near at the top of the powder velocity scale here. Matter of fact, I can show that to you here. Let me bring that up here quick. So let me zoom in here. So this is the Hornady data book here for 73 to 75 grain bullets. And for Varget, which is right here, I think you guys can make this out. I'll get you a little bit closer. So Varget, that group produced just below max. Max is 23.5 right here on Varget. So here's Varget. So 23.5, and that was 23.0. So what I am going to do because of that, and I'm going to throw a little bit more bullet flavor into the mix here. Let me zoom this back out. Is not only am I going to load up these 75 grain boat tail hollow points. Let me catch you guys here. Well, it looks like I lost you guys here for a split second. Are you guys still with me? I think I'm still with you guys here. Let me make sure you guys are up. I had a bit of a hiccup here. All right, I think we're back at it. All right, good. Sorry about that. I don't know why. So I just lost connection there for a second. Let me bring that info back up. All right, so back at it. So we shot this last, and they're recommending a coal of 2.250. I think I did it at max magazine length, which is 255. And I figured I'd mix up the flavor a little bit, and I went and picked up some of these 73 grain in the ELDs. Now, if you don't know this and you have an AR, you cannot load the 75 grain. Their recommended coal is well over magazine length, which is 2.390. And so in order to get any type of really heavy Hornady ELD match bullet in an AR, especially in the max magazine length, that's the reason why they make the 73 grain, just so you can use this in an AR. And so that's what I picked up here. And I got these locally and pretty affordable too. Let me zoom back out here. And sorry about that interruption in the broadcast. I don't know why. At least you know it's live. So I was able to pick these up local for about $23 per 100 piece box. So that's what I'm doing tonight. So we're doing the 75 grain boat tail hollow points with this load data. So I'll go back to that load data for those guys that are absolutely new. So on the Varget here, we max out at 23.5. So, and this goes for not only what I've been shooting, the 75 grain boat tail hollow points, but this also goes for the 73 grain ELD match. And you can see both of these have the exact same coal, which is right at pretty much maximum magazine length, which, you know, to try and get it in an AR mag, it's going to be about, you know, you could probably push it at about 2.260, but usually I do it roughly about 255, so somewhere around there. So I get you guys clipped back in here. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so for the 73 grain and the 75 grain, I'm going to start out at 22.4. I'm going to go in increments of 2 up to 23.2. So 0.2 over what we shot last time with that load development here. So that should be pretty darn cool. And we're going to drop some more powder here with the FX120i. So let me see who else is joining in on the party. And I'm going to get you a little bit closer here so you guys can make out this scale. Good old lab scale. And like I said, sorry once again for the interruption in the live broadcast, but hey, at least you know it's live. So let me make sure the sound is rolling here too. Okay, so let me just double check your comments here. Doug thought it was me. He lagged out. So yes, I am back. So sorry about that. Let me just back up here a little bit. So hitting steel CA is asking what do you plan on using projectiles in the 6.5? So in the 6.5, I have an insane amount of Sierra Match Kings here, and the 142 grain boat tail hollow points Match Kings. I also have some AMAX. I got some ELDs. I even have some Lapua. So I have, you know, I have numerous 6.5 Creamores already. Matter of fact, I already have a custom 6.5 Creamore, Mega Ma 10 with a Krieger barrel, and that's why I have all of these. I have a vast assortment here. So you're going to be looking at Sierra Match Kings 142 grains, ELD Match 140s. I even have some AMAX I could probably throw in there in 140s. I even have 123 grain ELD match. So you name it, I got it. But probably being that heavier, the better. 140, 142 flavors. So, and how's the video feed for you guys? Is it kind of blurry for you guys too? At least it's blurry on my end. There we go. That's a lot better. All right, so let's drop some powder here. I'm going to double check, make sure I'm not missing anyone's questions here. And so you might have to click on your settings and increase the resolution to 720p, just to let you guys know. At least I had to do that on my end to make this clear. So Doug B saying the video is good, so that's good. Graham saying stick to aluminum or steel mags, thinner walls, more space. And that is a very good point. I very well could do that, especially in the 6.5 Creamore. Usually my 5.56s, I usually just stick to P mags, but that is a very good point. If you want to get a little bit more space out of your magazine for longer overall length on your reloaded ammunition. So, all right. So let's drop some powder here. So right now I'm going to start out of the gate with the 69 grain SMKs, which is going to require 24.0. And I got to get you guys on a charger here, so give me 1 second. And I know some of you guys wanted to see this a little bit more up close and personal, so let me show that to you here. So I already have 24.0 entered, but say like I want to make it 25.5 for pure example's sake. And this is that Bluetooth app that you can download for the autotrickler.com setup. And then you just hit tap to set target. But like I said, with these SMKs 69, we're going to do 24.0. So you can just hit 24. Back this up here. 24.0. And you can see I can enable and disable auto throw. I can do the manual control for starting the motor and cycle auto throw. And this is a pretty intuitive Bluetooth app that comes with this FX120i with the autotrickler.com powder drop and trickler. So let's drop some powder here. I'm going to get you guys on a charging cable here so I don't run out of battery power. Make sure you guys can make out the scale. And then I'm going to hit tap to set target. So let me make sure. Good there, 800.24. So that looks good. So I tap to set target. I'll see if I can get you guys a little bit closer here too. Right there, within 0.02 grains of accuracy. You know, if I really want to be anal, I could trickle off one speck of powder here. I'll try and do this live without dropping the camera. So right there, I actually went over. I went over too many. And that's where this reducer really comes into play. If you really want to trickle off, you know, 1 or 2 specks, I highly recommend getting that reducer. And I do use that once in a while, but, you know, for pure speed purposes, usually I wouldn't use that. So let me, and 1 speck of Varga is literally 0.02 grains of accuracy. So just, this is dropping within literally 1, if not 2 specks of actual Varga. So right there within 0.02. So if you guys got any questions, especially if you are new to the reloading world, let yourself be known in the chat box. I will try my best to do this while I'm dropping powder. Doug B saying I might take a ride to EuroOptic this weekend. And man, I tell you, EuroOptic, they have some amazing deals on scopes. I've purchased a few scopes through EuroOptic. Matter of fact, Scope List is also owned by EuroOptic and run by EuroOptic. So we're in 0.02 here. And you know, a lot of times I'll try and buy it through Scope List other than EuroOptic because you can kind of name your price. They already have a set price. It's not like you just get to name your price. I usually lowball the heck out of them and see what they come back to. And that's usually where they tell me they're going to sell it to me anyways. But I definitely check out Scope List too. Like I said, they're owned and run by EuroOptic. It's kind of the bargain area of their selling their scope. So I definitely check that out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this 6.5 Creedmoor. And PSA has an insane amount of firearms coming up here, from their AKs to their Jackal, and they have an ARV. So it's a 9mm AR that takes Scorpion mags. And I'm not divulging anything that they already didn't say on Hank Strange's live podcast. It sounds like they're going to be coming out here soon with that ARV and 9mm that takes Scorpion mags. And I'm really looking forward to that. And it sounds like they're going to come out right out of the gate with a 16-inch and 10.5-inch AR pistol and the 9mm that takes Scorpion mags. And it's a dedicated proprietary lower and upper from them. So that is going to be really interesting, and not only that, but affordable. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it sounds like that's going to be coming out here really soon. And so, and initially, I know when I went to SHOT Show and I talked to PSA about that Jackal, they were initially going to come out with just the 300 blackout. But now it sounds like they're going to come out with the 5.56 and 300 blackout. And I'm kind of happy about that, because I don't really run any suppressors, and I'd rather have the 556 in comparison to the 300 blackout. I'm not saying one's better or worse than the other. But me personally, I'm not going to run a can anyways. So I would probably just get the 556 Jackal. And if you guys not familiar with that Jackal, holy smokes. I mean, it literally has all the bells and whistles. Monolithic upper, 3-positional gas block, um, side charging, forward side charging, and ambidextrous on the side charging, left and right. Ambidextrous controls. It takes any AR lower. It's bufferless. You don't need a buffer tube. I mean, wow. I mean, that is going to be awesome. It looks like this one dropped a little short. I dropped one speck of powder there. That was literally one speck. So right at 24. So Michael D is saying, I haven't found a rifle that doesn't like 147 ELDMs, and I definitely need to check those out. And I don't think I have any of those. I've never loaded those up before. I don't think I've loaded the 147s. No, I haven't. And you have no issues getting those in an AR magazine, like at least a PMag? Just curious there, Michael D. So I might have to stop blabbering a little bit while I'm dropping powder so I can kind of concentrate. so John Collins saying, I went to your optics, nice place. And like I said, John, definitely check out Scope List too. And Scope List, like I said, is where you can kind of name your price. You email them what you want to buy it for, which they, like I said, they pretty much have a set price on that already. So but you can always start low and work your way up. Graham Bates saying he's barfing on the PMags. He's so damn picky about his firearms. No, I'm kidding. All right, so we're doing good so far. All right, so we got the 10 total drops done here. So I'm gonna grab my flashlight. Just double check these powder levels. Just make sure they all look consistent. Obviously they're full. So we're good there on the 24.0 for 10 total on the 69 SMKs. And now we are moving on to the 75 grain boat tail hollow points and the ELDs, which they're going to have the exact same powder drop. So you can see I put a little black mark on my spec card here, and I put a black mark on the neck. So I know that that is for the 75 grain boat tail hollow points. I'll be careful trying to pluck one of these out, but you can see I put a red mark on the neck of the SMK so I can easily decipher the 69 grain and the 75 grains between the two, being they're both boat tail hollow points. And I put a mark on my loading card here. So let me put my pan back in here. And I forgot to stop this. I'll let that cycle through. All right, so I'm going to stop this, dump this back in my trickler. And we need, and I wrote these on the side of the brass, so we're going to start at 22.4 and go in increments of 2. So 22.6, 22.8, 23.0, and we're going to stop at 23.2 here. And it's hard to make that out because this is a live broadcast. This doesn't, it doesn't focus for crap during a live broadcast. But let's enter 22.4. So put 22.4 and tap to set target. So Thomas is asking, are you running your scale on fast, medium, or slow? And this automatically comes, and I'm gonna have to adjust this. I see this is dropping way too much on the powder drop. So let me stop this. So you can see, a matter of fact, I'll click you guys out here. Hopefully this doesn't disconnect the live broadcast. I'll try and do this again. So I can manually cycle this. So if I hit this cycle auto throw, if you guys aren't familiar with this, I'll hit this button here. And you can see it drops. And I'm trying to drop at 22.4. Well, it's already damn near at 22.4. And when you're using this setup, at least without a reducer, you want to drop at least about 1.5 grains below what your objective is. So if I'm going to start out at 22.4, I'm going to want this to drop about 21.0, because you need to allow this this tube to spin up, allow the powder to drop off out of the tube and slowly into the pan. So I'm going to have to adjust this a little bit. So I'm going to drop this back in here. And in order to get this to drop less, I'm going to screw this in. It's going to be righty-tighty. So righty-tighty, lefty-loose, I want less. So I'm going to screw this in a little bit. So screw this in about something like that. I'm going to hit cycle auto throw. And I want it to be roughly about 21.0. I usually go for about 1.5 grains below my target, which is 22.4. So if I need 21.0, you see I need to go a little bit more. So I'm going to screw this in just a little bit more. I need to keep on going. So right about there, I might go a little bit past that. I'm going to try it once more. That's about perfect right there. So you got to let this, you got to allow the actual trickler a time to spin up to full speed and then slow down. That's the name of the game if you want this to be marginally fast. So let's try this again. So let me clip you guys back in. We already have 22.4 entered onto the app. You guys can make that out. All right, let's try that again. So 22.4. So tap the target. So right there, so it's within 0.02, so that's what I consider acceptable. Because 1 grain of powder of Varget is literally 0.02. So I'm going to just quick double check this. So 22.42, so that's more than acceptable. Let's try that again. The second charge. John is asking, what powder dispenser is this? This is the FX120i lab scale with the autotrickler.com version 3, the V3 powder drop and trickle setup. So it's within 0.02 of 22.4. So you can see it kind of settles out there a little bit. So, and it is a little over $1,000 for this entire combination for the lab scale, the auto drop, and the auto trickler. And it definitely makes this look ancient. And you got to be careful not to breathe around this thing. It is that sensitive. So this has the black mark on it. So this is a 75 grain bolt tail hollow point. And being that the 73 grain ELD match is in the same data load book area, same page, it can use the same powder drops. So you can see I'm just going to work my way back, and I'm keeping these off to the side here for future load development. So if you're new, if you got any questions, let yourself be known in the chat box. I will try my best to answer your questions, even if it doesn't have anything to do with this. So within 0.02. All right, so we got 2 more drops of this powder charge of 22.4. Right on the money there. It's looking good. And if you're considering getting this setup, the lab scale FX120i with this auto drop, check out my playlist area. I have an insanely in-depth video series on this setup, and it is flipping awesome. It's about not the best that you can get, but it's a close second. You know, Prometheus would probably be the most accurate. And I got to make sure I don't breathe on this thing because it is that sensitive. I think I'm going to trickle off one speck here. And that's why I got this clear lid so I can see through it. There's one speck right there. So I'm going to try one more speck. Right. So, like I said, this thing is so insanely sensitive. It can detect just one speck of powder. So if it doesn't get it perfect, you can make it perfect. All right, so that is all of the 22.4s. So I am going to stop this, and I'm going to enter 22.6. So we're going to move up 2. Now, what's nice about this is if you want, if you're doing load development, that's kind of why they did this, is I can just hit plus 0.1. So you can see this, I'm going to hit this once, moves to 22.5, I can hit this again. So I don't have to re-enter this. I just hit this twice if you want to be ultra lazy. So 22.6. And make sure you guys can see the scale here. So I'm going to hit tab to set target. Make sure I get my pan in here. And it will not drop powder until it zeroes out. So 22.6. So Michael D, which has all the toys, he has a Prometheus, he has a Sartorius, he has this FX120i, and he is saying the Prometheus is no more accurate than my Sartorius, which is no more accurate than what you have. I will sell you one if you want. And I'm sure because that Sartorius, just the lab scale itself, without just this FX120i is 490, and then the auto trickler and auto powder drop is another 490. We'll just say $1,000 shipped with tax, maybe a little over 1,000. And that Sartorius that Michael D is talking about measures within 0.00 accuracy, not 0.00. And there's a lot of truth to the statement that your scale can be too sensitive when you're dropping powder that already weighs one speck of Varga usually weighs about not 0.02, but damn near. I would say 0.01 0.05, maybe almost 0.02. If you're looking at H4350, it's a little bit larger stick powder. It can measure between 0.03 and 0.02 and 0.03. So, a lot of truth to that statement that your scale can be too sensitive. Matter of fact, good old Ray with X-Ring channel, he mentions that, his scale is almost too sensitive. And then again, that scale is well over $2,000 just for the scale, not including all this other stuff. So it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're interested in getting something like this. And I did an insane amount of research, and that's the reason why I decided to go this route, because I think it's the best bang for the buck. And I know that RCBS Matchmaster, which, will measure within 0.04 plus or minus 0.02 accuracy. But in my opinion, I just don't think it's not as accurate when you're considering something like this that has a super hybrid sensor. And also, I don't think it's as fast. I mean, if I really want to, I can pitch this a little bit more, and I can increase this speed like I showed you guys on that live event, dropping powder within 6-7 seconds. It's just insanely fast, insanely accurate. So, and if I really want to, I can get both my pans here that weigh the same amount. I got another pan here that weighs the exact same amount. So while I'm pulling this one off, I could put this one on, but I can't do that while I'm blabbering and doing a live event. It's just not safe. I got to concentrate with just one. So, all right. So then 0.02. So I'm curious who else out there is watching. I know Michael D. I think he had, I don't know. Michael D, did you say you have an FX120i, or you just have a Sartorius? If anyone else is out there watching, you got a FX120i, let me know. I'm curious. And let me know what you think of it, if you like it or not. So that one's pretty much right on the money there. And if some of you guys haven't or new, just to show you the difference between the 73 grain ELD match, which has a ballistic tip, and the 75 grain bow tail hollow point. So this is on the left here. This is a 73 grain Hornady ELD match, ELD-M. It's got a boat tail, a ballistic tip on it. They discontinued the AMAX because, quote unquote, the tips were melting over long distances. And then here's a 75 grain boat tail hollow point. So they're pretty darn identical, other than obviously the tips. So with that ballistic tip, you get a little bit better BC, or bullet coefficient. So yeah, I'm interested to see how these print, especially when I can get them for $22 per 100 locally. So that's pretty darn awesome. So that one's done. 22.6. So yeah, hopefully I have this, and I know PSA is insanely busy right now with all their sales they got going on, with people freaking out about COVID stuff. And we'll see how soon I get this upper and lower for the 6.5 Creedmoor firearm series, and it's going to be epic. One of these days, I got to make it out to that 600-yard range. I keep on going to this 300-yard range. I'll go out there some Thursday night. So Michael D is saying he's got a Prometheus and a Sartorius. I don't have the FX120i yet. So I know a lot of guys, man, they have those Sartoriuses, and I think they're like, man, I think I'd be just happy with the 120i. Be done with it, especially for what, a quarter of the price, probably even less than a quarter of the price. All right, so that is all of the 22.6. So I'm going to stop this, cancel that out, and then we are going to enter 22.8. So I'm just going to hit this twice. All right, so I'm going to hit tap to set target. $22.8. Looking good. All right, so 22.8. I'm going to just double check some stuff here. It's looking all good there. Now about these new trays here, I'm not sure if I'm totally impressed with them yet. I mean, they're all right. They work for a wide array of casings, but and they sure don't fit in there that well. I think I might return these. I'm not sure yet. Kind of up in the air on these trays right now. Rob Stewart is in the house. He's saying, "Hey Todd." Thomas Tex says, "Does your trickle or make music when it's ramping up or down?" It does make a particular. Matter of fact, I'll try and get my wireless Rode Go next to this next time it's rolling here to give you an idea what it sounds like. It's very mechanical sounding. Let me clip this off the side of my head here. See if you guys can hear this. So yeah, it's very, very mechanical sounding. You guys make that out? So Houston is saying, "I purchased one when it had the V2, but I have upgraded to the V3, which I've seen guys do that, and that is a nice option, the fact that you can do that. And it's, I believe the only difference between the V2 and the V3 is they added the Bluetooth app to that, the Bluetooth feature. He also says he's got most of the Area 419 parts and he loves it. And it sounds like they might be sending me the rest of those Area 419 parts. So still kind of waiting on that. But in my opinion, that clear lid is an absolute must. You got to have that clear lid just to see that powder trickle out, especially if you want to just roll off one spec so you don't have to duck underneath that lid. So we're getting to the tail end here. We only got about 12 left to go here. And just another update. I know you guys have been watching this coax press and all the modifications that I've been doing to it. Obviously with the, let me grab this out of here. This is the KMS reloading press light for the coax, which, my God, it is, I'm not going to name another manufacturer that makes lighting. It just wouldn't be good on my part, but this one is insanely awesome. And I highly, highly recommend getting this KMS. It is by far the brightest one that I have tried, and just super easy to install. And it clears this stock shell plate just great. And I like this so much that I end up getting, you know, I have this one here for my LNL, but I also have this one that I'm about to install on my LNL, and that's another video coming up here for you guys. And that is the UFO reloading LED setup for the Hornady LNL press. And so you can see it has a circle, so it has the side here and then the circle rather than a separate one on the top and a separate one on the side. It's all one piece. So I'm about to install that here too with another separate video. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And a huge fan of this KMS press lighting. It's a must-have in my opinion. And I also have the additional coupler and this dimmers if you want to dim it. You know, they got some, I don't know why you want to put strobe lighting. If you want to, so I have this strobe lighting here. Let me see if I can find it here. Some modes. So I can hit mode here. So I can, oh, this is the dimmer. So I can dim it. And you're going to see a video on this here pretty soon. So you can see how insanely bright this thing gets. And then there's also some demo modes if you want to strobe. For some reason, if you want to get some mood lighting in with your reloading. I don't know why you would want this, but hey, it's there for an option if you want to have this. You want to set the mood just right for your reloading event. But yeah, so you got all those options, obviously, with the off feature here too. So, yeah, a huge fan of this KMS lighting. So. All right, so sitting here blabbling. I've got 0.02 of 22.8. All right, so we're good on all those. Let me just double check all these here. All right, so we are on to 23.0. I'm going to stop this. And we're going to increase this to 23.0. And that's what's nice about these plus buttons when you're doing load development like this. And you can really fine tune it if you want to go to 0.01. But yeah, so we are up to 23.0, and then we got 23.2, and then we're going to be done dropping powder here. All right, so like I said, keep an eye on that drifting. The pan weighs 800.24. We're still at 800.24, so that looks really good. We've been doing this for about an hour now, so that looks really impressive. So 23.0, tap to set target. CMNDO saying, the strobe is for disco night, Todd. That's awesome. Yeah, if you want to do some special disco dancing while you're in the reloader room, I suppose you could do that. All right, so this looks like it dropped a little short, so I'm going to spin off one spec here. One spec right there. So right at 23. Thomas Tech saying the UFO. Yeah, like I said, man, this lighting is the bomb. If you got any type of Dylan or LNL, in my opinion, that is the best, brightest lighting, hands down. I'm really impressed with it so far. All right, so not much left here. So yeah, we're just going to go for 3-shot groups on this last part of the series. And crossing my fingers that the 73 grain ELD match is a winner, but man, I tell you, the 75 grain has been shooting rather impressive. In fact, I got the other group over here. So yeah, this was the group before it. So it's pretty much 0.7, and this was pretty much exactly the same. So 0.773. So really, really impressed, especially that 75 grain boat tail hollow points. The fact that it's nice and heavy, can shoot long distances. I'm really looking forward to that, and I really got to take this out to that 600-yard range. Nice. 3 shots for the rifle, 5 shots for the rifleman. Yeah, I know a lot of guys are like, man, if it's not a 5-shot group, you're not doing it right. And usually, I used to do 5-shot groups all the time on my channel, and when I'm not doing videos, I'm doing my own load development. I always shot 3. I don't like wasting bullets and powder. Usually, I can tell within 3 shots if it's going to group or not. You know, heck, I know some bench rush rifle guys that only shoot 2-shot groups. There's no reason why you got to waste more ammunition, powder, bullets, primers. But the big thing for me is just the overall life of your rifle's bore. I mean, gosh, I see some guys that will, no joke, burn up a whole barrel's life expectancy just doing load development. And by the time they hunt down the perfect load, they already got 2,000 rounds down the bore. I'm like, crying out loud. I mean, like, are you just shooting for load development, or and I know some guys, they enjoy that, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. I get it. I used to be that way, and I stopped driving myself crazy doing all that, and that's why some guys think I'm crazy for not doing chronograph work. I just especially with the old chronographs, you got sick of dragging that thing out. Maybe one of these days I'll get a lab radar, but even still, I don't know. I just enjoy going out the range, doing a little bit of low development, but once I get something that's under a minute of angle, I just stick with it, and I'm done with load development. And usually that barrel will tell you out of the gate if it's going to be picky or not. Sometimes you can tell if you can do load development right away. Sometimes, and this is a classic example with this PSA Coalhammer Forge 5.56, especially with a chrome line barrel. You'll see a lot with chrome line barrels. They need a couple 100 rounds before you can even consider doing load development. They just need some time to break in. But yeah, I'm sitting here babbling, and I should have stopped that. So we are up to 23.2. Good to go here. I'm going to hit tap to set target. Then 0.02. That looks really good. 23.2. All right. So Iraq is asking, have you ever used Benchmark? That's my powder of choice. And matter of fact, my go-tos are Varget and H4350. So obviously, you guys are watching me drop the Varget here. So very not temperature sensitive powder, which is why I like it. And it just shoots great, especially out of 5.56 308s. I do use that, I believe, in my 6.5 Grendel. I have an insane amount of H4350. I mean, a metric ton of that. But I do have benchmark. I have the good old trusty XBR 8208, which I use a lot in my short barrel rifles. It's a faster burning powder, especially in comparison to something like Varget. So if you got a shorter barrel rifle, that's something you need the powder to burn up quicker before that bullet exits the muzzle. This is a fantastic powder. If I was to pick 3 powders right now, and hey Todd, you can only pick 3 powders and that's all you get to use, it would be these 3. It would be H4350, XBR 8208, and Varget. That would be my 3 right there. If I could only pick 3 powders. You know, I've tried the benchmark, and it is a smaller stick powder, and it does measure very well. And it does drop great out of a trickler, regardless if it's a a Charge Master or this expensive $1,000 FX120i. I just never had that great of luck with it in comparison to the Varget. Just didn't really come close, to be honest with you. What else do I have in here? I got some good old IMR 4895. I got some. I do load pistol, believe it or not. I do it. I do progressively because I have a Hornady lock and load, but I do have some tight group. Do have some unique. Yeah. I mean, we're talking. It's like a clown car. It's like a clown car powder. He's 40. I got probably 3 of these things. So, let me just get this off this side here. But yeah, those are my main powders. And like I do use benchmark. And I know I do have some CFE 223 down there, which I know Michael D is asking me to load some of that up, and I probably will here one of these days. I can only please so many people. Get this. Get you guys and get that display readout here for you guys. All right, so we are within 0.02, so good there. 23.2. So he's saying Varget does great in my Mosin too. Never had luck with CFE, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Michael D. I know you tell me to use CFE 223, and I've tried it in the past. I just never had good luck with it. I kind of pushed that off to the side. I've always just stuck with Varget, and it just seems to perform amazing. So we're in 0.02. And Michael D, if you could put in that pet load that you use with CFE and 69 grain SMKs, that'd be awesome. I know you messaged that to me, but I'd like to see that in the chat box for everyone else. If you could put that in there for the other people watching. So far, this hasn't been drifting at all. And I know some guys, they're like, hey, you got to get a power conditioner to make sure that this doesn't drift. Man, I tell you, I don't use a power conditioner. I just use a crazy little surge protector here. It seems to work out just fine. I tell you what helps out the most, though, is this piece of granite. Before I had this piece of granite, this bench is not totally level. I try to make it as level as possible, but over the years it's kind of bowed a little bit. And you can see they have a little bubble here. Matter of fact, you can see it's exactly perfect. I mean, that bubble couldn't be any more perfect, and that's because of this slab of granite here. And I have some adjustable feet on here, and I made this myself. You can see this. I put a little perimeter of wood here, and I could screw these in and out. And this has some adjustable feet on here that I can screw in and out. And I actually put some rubber pads on this too, so it doesn't slip around. And there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see how much my bench is marginally bowed a little bit over the years of using it. And this thing is flat and as level as a pancake. And you can see I put some markings here. I put a little black magic mark here on the slab here and on the feet, and also on the other side. I did the exact same thing. So I can keep track if I want to slightly adjust this. But I tell you, with this slab, I haven't had to touch this. And this thing has been right on the money. That little bubble is in that little red circle, and it is absolutely perfect. And that is only due because of this top. And this top not only helps keep this level and this completely perfect, but it keeps the static down. And you can see I have some extra dryer sheets, which I keep some dryer sheets up here for that sole purpose. I put that underneath my lab scales. I have it underneath my Charge Master. And by doing all that, it really keeps that static down. And you'll notice when you first get any type of scale, regardless if it's a Charge Master or the FX120i or whatever, you got to let that pan condition a little bit. You got to get some of that gunpowder residue in the pan. You got to get some gunpowder residue in the hopper, and that will help bring down the static electricity too. And you'll notice that if you've been reloading for many, many years like I have. And with all that, and usually once in a while I'll take this pan off. You can take this pan out of the FX120i. I'll wipe that down with the dryer sheets. And I have this bag here that I cover it with, that I sprayed with anti-static spray that you use for, your clothes when you put them in the laundry. And all those come together to help keep that static down on your powder drop scale. So we were going for 23.2, and that's exactly where we're at. 23.2. Got one more. So if you got any questions, let yourself be known in the chat room. I'm going to seat maybe 1 or 2 bullets here for you guys, and I'm going to wrap this and call this a night. And I'll seat the rest of these bullets offline. So CMNDO 97 saying, gotta run. Thanks, Todd, and thanks for jumping in and watching the live event. And thank you, Eric, for the note there saying it's a great setup you have, and I appreciate that. And man, did that one ever go way over. That one wasn't even remotely close. That's more like it. It's a little shy. Let me drop off 1 speck here. That was 1 speck. Probably being too anal here. I think 0.02 is fine by me, so I'll work with that, especially with an AR. All right, so that's it. All the powders drop. I'm going to stop this. So that should be good there. I'm going to double check all my powder drops, make sure they all look consistent, make sure every single piece of brass has powder in it, so I don't get any squib loads. And you can see, at least I can, I'll see if I can click you guys off here. So I'm checking powder here, and I'm looking down these case mouth openings, making sure that these powder levels are all consistent. And you can see as I work up the powder level here from 22.4 to 23.2, and it's hard to see here because it doesn't zoom that great on a live feed. But you can see that powder level literally increase as we go up for those that are absolutely new to the game. So we're good here. We got powder in every single one. So I'm going to clip you guys back in, and I'm going to carefully move some of this over. So I'm going to start with the SMKs. Careful not to spill any powder. I like to get my brass on the right hand side, grab that with my right hand, grab the bullet with my left, grab my calipers here, grab my one piece of brass that I know is for a fact exactly 1.750 inches. You guys have probably seen this before, but those that haven't, I always double check the battery of my calipers, make sure that they're fresh and that my calipers are reading true. So 1.750. So I know that that is reading accurate. My battery is not going dead. So zeroed out. And I am going to get my ammo box here from the previous video with the spent casings that are on the same fire. And I'm going to make some room here. Let's try this. So I need to make room for 10. So this should be good. Get this out. And that's what's nice about this coax press. If you're not familiar with the coax press, you know, you can just take this right out, put it back in, and that's where this thing really shines. And this is a free float system. So this shell plate kind of free floats a little bit, and the die free floats. So this free floats left to right. And I'll show you here a little bit how that works if you're new to this press, if you haven't seen the previous video. I'm going to grab my data sheet here, make them following the rules. So these have a red mark on the brass, and I know for a fact that these have the 24.0. And you're going to see as I put my piece of brass here, grab one of the bullets, and this is not going to seat all the way. I've kind of screwed this out. But we need to go for a coal of 2.255. So we're at 2.302. We need 2.55. And that's why I keep this mag right on my bench here. And you can obviously already know it's not going to fit in the magazine, but at least give you an idea how much further we have to go. And this will never feed. It's the very tip of that bullet's just going to nick. And you got to go a little bit further to make sure we're at maximum magazine length. And you can see as I bring up this shell plate that these jaws close in on that brass like so. And then it's free floating too. It's got a free floating nature. And I'll try my best to show you guys that here live. So I can lift this up, and this free floats left and right. So if it needs to make an adjustment to line up with the die, it can do that left to right. And then the die is also free floating, and it's not sloppy, but it's marginally loose. So that has a little bit of free float front to back. So with the front to back, the left to right, those two axes work together to make a very centered, very concentricity to your bullet. And we need to screw this down. It's a little bit. Let me just double check this. I've been blabbering too much. We need 2 3.255. So 255, we're at 302. So we got a little ways to go. So we're getting there at 290. Matter of fact, let me get you guys a little bit better view here. Just give me a second. I just got to fool around with this tripod a little bit. A little bit better view for you guys. All right, so we need 255. And we are at 289. So keep on screwing this down. Let me get this die completely in the picture here. Man, this rubber washer needs to get replaced in the worst way. This is a Hornady seating die. So keep on going. We need 255. $271. This is where a micro seeder die really comes into play. That's where it is really handy to have a micro seeder die, so you know exactly how much you're screwing this down, and you just don't have that with this Hornady inexpensive seeder die. We're getting close there at 261. So I might want to slow down here a little bit, but once I have this set, I can set it and forget it. So we're getting really close. Now, I would say that's pretty much right at maximum magazine length. And oh no, is your 6 covered saying, Elmo says, what the hell? What the hell? So you can see now it fits, just barely clears. I mean, we're talking, this doesn't focus all that great during a live event, but it just barely clears. Now, I could probably settle with that. Matter of fact, before I move that anymore, I'm going to seat another one just to see how it compares. So carefully grab another one, another piece of brass here that has a 24.0 grains of varget. Now, this is going off the tips of the bullets, and this isn't off ogive. We're not using a bullet comparator. We're going off the tips of the bullets. And they're not exactly as consistent as measuring with something like a bullet comparator, where you measure off the ogive or the secant radius of the bullet. But at least for maximum magazine length and for an AR, this is more than sufficient, just going by Cole. So I think I'm just going to stick with that. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm just going to finish up the rest of these. And it's right there again, 256. I think I'm just going to stick with that. It doesn't have to be exactly 255. Talking a thousandths of an inch. It's not going to be the end of the world. And you can see those tips of the bullets aren't perfect. I guarantee you, if I was to measure off the ogive or the secant radius using a bullet comparator, and when I say a bullet comparator, this is a bullet comparator. I can, if I really want to get precise, I can get a bullet comparator in my case body, and this will measure off the ogive, or where the secant radius of the bullet comes in contact with the lands of the rifling in your bore. And that is the preferred way to measure, but for an AR, I think this is more than sufficient. You know, if this is a bolt action, I was going for measuring off jumps, I would definitely do that. But for an AR, I think this is more than sufficient. So I'm just going to click this in, make sure that it clears, and it does. So we're fine there. So I'm just going to seat a couple more here, and then I think I'm going to wrap this up. So if you got any questions, so Eric is asking what projectiles were those, and these are the Sierra Match Kings. The 69 grain bow tail hollow points. Grab my calipers here. And you can see it went right back down to that 255 area. So like I said, these boat tail hollow points, when I say hollow points, these tips are definitely not that great. They're not that perfect. So if you're new to the game, your coal cartridge overall length measurements are going to be all over the place for that. So if you want them more consistent, you got to go off ogive using a bullet comparator. But once you have that, you don't want to chase that if you're going off coal. You don't want to chase coal if you're going off the tips of the bullets, because you're actually seeding the bullet off ogive. And if you try and chase that all over the place, your seeding depths are going to be all over the place if you are measuring by coal. So I'm not even going to measure that. Just know it's good. So I'm going to do one more here, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Well, I might as well finish this up. I got 3 left. What the heck? Fix my tripod here. All right, 2 more, and I'm going to shut this down. So if you got questions, let them rip in the chat room. Otherwise, I'm going to be done here very soon. And he's saying that is an awesome press, and that's why I got this, because of that free float nature. So far, I'm super, super happy with it, especially all the modifications I've made to it so far. Especially with the easy access linkages, and if I'm sizing or I'm doing like pistol, I can put my limiter in here, so I don't have to rotate this complete 180. It's definitely some mods you really got to have along with that KMS UFO lighting. It is an absolute must, in my opinion. So Skull saying, are you crimping the 5.56 when you seat the bullet? And I don't crimp my brass. I just don't. Never found a need to, even with my ARs. And I know I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. Crimping bullets is heavily dependent on the length of your brass. If one piece of brass is longer than the next, it will come in contact with that crimp area of your seating die, and it can create inconsistent neck tensions if your brass lengths are all over the place. So if you are crimping, you got to make sure that your brass trim lengths are perfect. They're spot on. I do crimp a little bit for hunting rounds. If I go out and hunt and I don't get anything, I gotta eject that ammunition and then reload it back up the next day. And I don't get anything on that hunting trip, and I gotta eject it and reload it, and I don't get anything, and I come back the next year. I will put a light kiss of a crimp on those hunting rounds, but otherwise, for regular ammunition or definitely precision ammunition, I just don't crimp at all, as long as I have good neck tension, and that is the key. And it's all about your own method to your madness. And I'm not saying if you do crimp, you're wrong. It's just you got to find your own adventure. Well, I'm going to finish the rest of these off camera here so I can get these finished and get to bed here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this live session. Most likely the last live session of the PSA 5.56 Coal Hammer Forge FM barrel upper. And after this, you're going to see these shot in an edited video here soon to come. And then soon after that, it's going to be that PSA 6.5 Creedmoor that I've shown you guys here at the start of this live event. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this live video. I hope you guys enjoy my content. And if you do, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification bell. When you do hit that notification bell, make sure you hit notify all, so you get all those notifications when I go live or if I update or upload a video. and become a Patreon. It helps out more than you know. And I will see you guys in the next edited video of this ammunition. See you next time.